Thought I'd set myself a bit of a mini challenge and see if I can get London and home again in that 10 hours. Good morning friends and welcome back to the channel and another ultra cycling related video. Another week closer to the events and another week closer to summer. It's absolutely stunning outside and every week at the moment seems to get better and better. I thought I'd brave it today. No jacket, just a gilet, fingerless gloves, and I'm actually really hot and I have just done a whole bunch of climbing already, and today I'm going to take you on another magical mystery tour across the south of England, although with zero mystery because you've seen the thumbnail. But essentially I've got 10 hours to play with today. Coach gave me 14 hours this weekend. Didn't feel like much yesterday, so I did 4 hours yesterday and today 10 hours. So I'm heading north and what I'm going to count as the first mini adventure of 2025. In this weather it feels like one anyway. I've been doing some fairly longish rides over the last few months. Because the weather's been so cold and so dodgy, I've stayed really close to home really and just did a big loop along the south coast. So heading north to London, it's exciting. Just thought I'd set myself a bit of a mini challenge and see if I can get London and home again in that 10 hours. I've attempted this ride once before, quite a long time ago. I did complete the ride, but obviously a lot longer than 10 hours. And I remember at the time, as soon as I turned back to go home, I was in a world of pain. I was not feeling good whatsoever. So let's see how it goes this time. But hopefully you're all well out there. And I'm sure on a day like today, right now, you're all out on your bikes too. I'm already about 2.5 hours into this ride, I think. Didn't really fancy filming at the beginning a whole lot. Feeling pretty tired at the moment. Right now I'm about 2 weeks into quite a stiff training block with a couple of events coming pretty soon. These long hours this weekend, a really savage session on Tuesday I'm not looking forward to. So trying to conserve a bit of energy for that. Then next Saturday, I've got a challenge that Giovanni and I set ages ago to ride 100 miles around the Goodwood motor circuit as fast as I can. Last time I tried to do that, I wanted to see how fast I could do it. It ended up being 5 hours, 10 minutes. And by the end, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't crack 5 hours. That is elapsed time. So any loo breaks, any stoppage I factored into the finish time. So next weekend I'm gonna have another crack and have a bit less chat and see how fast I can crack 100 miles and see if I can get it down below 5 hours overall. I do have a little bit of tapering going into that ride next weekend. And then the following weekend, I've got my first proper race of the year. The Equinox on the loop. So yeah, we'll see how that strategy pays off. A 5-hour, 100-mile time trial. The week before a 24-hour time trial. I feel like it's a pretty good opener. And I'll get a ton of sleep in the week leading up to it, so let's see how it goes. Anyway, it's a really long intro, waffling on a bit, but if you're into ultra cycling related videos, want to push your own limits in 2025, then now would be a pretty good time to subscribe and follow the channel. Getting out of breath now. But for this ride, I'm about 2.5-ish hours in, so maybe halfway to London, and then might do a little loop of Richmond Park, turn around and come home again. Let's see. Oh, and one last thing. If you watched the video last week, I was talking about the difficulty of managing a big training plan. And mine is about 20 hours a week, roughly, something like that. Struggling for a little while and made some really good progress recently around fueling, day-to-day fueling. And quite a few people replied and said they've had the same issues. So the progress I made was thanks to Giovanni, my coach. So that's one thing I would say. If you're interested, I won't try and sell stuff all the time to you guys, but the only reason I realised what was going wrong and made progress in fixing it was with Giovanni's help. So his information's below in the description if you're interested in coaching. Whew. This route I've ridden quite a few times now, probably since I started riding longer distances. Maybe ridden this about 10 times, something like that. I kind of consider it now a bread and butter training ride for endurance distance. Usually if I'm riding to London, I'll get the train home, might take me about 6-7 hours, and it's a really cool ride. But today I got more hours on, so I'm going to ride home. But you end up leaving Portsmouth and going over the South Downs, which I know really well. I much less often get to go out over the Surrey Hills. And I've just crossed the Surrey Hills now. So I cross over the South Downs, the Surrey Hills. Fairly soon, I'll be crossing over the M25, which is the orbital ring road around London. And from that point, I think we're basically in Greater London, not Central London. It's starting to get busier now. But once you're over the M25, actually doesn't flow too badly to get into Central London. The route I do is pretty quick. That said, I had to stop filming for about 10 minutes because I just went through a little village called Chobham and it's busy as hell. But I think now I'm pretty close to the M25, so I think London-wise, 3.5 hours, basically there. So I'll just see how far I get in, and hopefully in that 5-hour window, I'll get to the fabled Richmond Park for a spin. Getting much closer now. It's amazing how quickly it goes from nothing, countryside, rural, to London. I want a bit of a quieter road so I can film, but been through some pretty hectic roads already, and I think I'm realizing why. When we crossed over the M25, I noticed it was closed. So I think this is all the M25 traffic desperately trying to get through London. Hopefully it doesn't get too much more hectic up ahead. We have reached Richmond Park, and I'm pretty sure I rolled through the gate 5 hours to the second. Couldn't do that again if I tried, I'm sure. It's a pretty cool place. Don't really feel like I'm in central London just yet, but as far as London goes in cycling, this is central London. So I'm gonna go find somewhere, maybe get a coffee, just have a little cruise through, maybe have a break, because I haven't stopped once. I think we call that the move it or lose it. Thanks a lot, pal. Just like that, on the way home. Whatever happened to cafe stops? I just don't have time anymore. Madness. Ridden 77 miles through Richmond Park to a cafe, refilled my bottles, and turning south to go home again. Just have not got time. Coffee right now would be bloody lovely, and cake or pastry. Maybe someday. It's getting steep. Whew. I feel like I'm riding up Alpe d'Huez at the moment. Steep hairpins in central London, and just a constant flow of people descending next to me. Folks, what a way to spend your weekend. Is there an easier city to get around by bus or tube or bike than London? I don't know. I think I've been a cyclist for too long because I only see it from a cyclist perspective. Why would you want to sit in that traffic hours of your weekend just so you can conserve those precious calories? Madness. I don't know for sure, but I reckon that queue must be at least a couple hours to get through. Found the problem. That's the M25 again, and it is closed, so I would not want to be a Londoner in a car right now. But I'm back out of London basically, so about 4 or so hours I reckon to get home. Not too bad. 2 national parks, I better get a move on because stops like this are a real luxury. Riding 10 hours, I don't want to get back that late really. Any stoppage just makes it later home. I am tired though. I'm making pretty good progress now. I'll keep my head down for a bit back there and just getting some miles done. Really, after London, it's all the same roads coming back, so I think I'm mostly over the Surrey Hills now, roughly. And it seems like I had a bit of a headwind coming in because it's a little bit nicer coming back. Well, that road is still screwed then. Somehow I managed to pick up a giant piece of metal in my wheel there. Yeah, progress is going okay, but 120 miles in now. Feeling quite tired. I'm ready to get home, to be honest. I think I'm going to end up over 10 hours, which is a bit of a shame because that's all I have to do. So let's see how tempted I am by the train when I hit the 10-hour mark. I don't really want to be burning my legs up before that session on Tuesday, which is going to be brutal. So in terms of nutrition for this one, I took everything I needed with me. Try to keep moving all day. Filled my pockets full of bananas and Velo Forte bars, and so far so good. And if you've used the Velo Forte discount code, the actual code has changed, so check the description. They had to change it, so I've worked my way through most of that now, so let's see how I get on, if I have to stop or not. I think so far at the 8-hour mark, I've stopped about half an hour, all in all, and most of that's traffic lights and stuff. I found this week, I realised an unexpected benefit to this training. Quite often, I'm doing a lot of hours, sacrificing a lot of social stuff. Anytime I'm not working, training, I want to try and spend it with my partner, really. And when I'm out on days like today, I've got 10 hours to do. A cafe stop just doesn't really make any sense. I'll just get back even later. I'd like to get back in time to have dinner with my partner. And I realised for a while actually, all my training's been that way. Because I'm doing more hours, more volume, 20 hours a week roughly. The endurance rides, I don't want to be out all the time, so I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. Rolling through particular junctions I can get around on the cycle path, or any way that I can keep moving forwards and not have downtime. Really helps me to get the training done and not waste too much time in the middle. And actually, when it comes to the races, depending on who you ask, if you can't push on and be fast all the time in multi-day events, then it really helps to just always be moving forwards and stopping as little as possible, being as efficient as you can. And that's a bit of a byproduct of this training, I found. It's really helping me to condition my body to be able to sit on this bike for a really long time. I definitely feel like I want to get off right now, but it's been really useful. It's when I've been stressing out about trying to fit everything in and be as efficient as I can be. I realised actually that alone, aside from all the intensity and all the zone 2 at the weekends, even if it's slow, it's helping me to be fitter, but also just stay on my bike for as long as possible. Let's see, we'll test that theory later. Right now I think I'm in the middle of the Surrey Hills, or maybe towards the back end of it. Once this is over, I've got a tiny bit of flat. Got to get up and over the South Downs, and then home. Feeling quite tired now, so looking forward to that. Let's crack on. Getting pretty close now. This is the last proper climb, really. I'm going up and over past Butser Hill. I think it's one of the highest points in the whole ride, I think. Just been through Petersfield, and that was about 9 hours roughly. So 9 hours, 135 miles roughly. I think based on where I am now, I'm gonna ride all the way back. It's about 20 more miles roughly. The pace I'm going, gonna be over my 10 hours allotted time, but not by too much. Definitely think I might have worked a little bit too hard, but I like it. It's good fun. Hopefully somewhere up here I can go for a pee, because I've been waiting about an hour. That is the top, so a couple more climbs, but nothing too significant now. Just about 20 miles of rolling towards the coast. I think I might have burned my lips today. I feel either windburn or my lips are a bit sunburned, which is marvellous. And that is that. We are back in Portsmouth. Down there, roll down this final climb, and then I'm home. Basically, timer is 9 hours 57 minutes to the Portsmouth sign. So it's about 20 minutes to get home. So let's say 10 hours 20 minutes all in. That does include rolling around Richmond Park and going over that climb twice. That's not bad, is it? 9 hours 57, 2 national parks twice, South Coast, London and back in one day. Nothing too bonkers, but that's the first adventure of 2025. I'm excited. It was a hot day. It's the beginning of March and it was hot. Anyway, I'm gonna roll down this hill, go and get some dinner and have a hot bath, and then sleep. So look after yourselves, and I'll see you all on the next one. It should be another 100-mile time trial. So that should be good fun. Anyway, I'm knackered. Have a good week, and I'll see you all in the next one.